Hey everyone, it's Coffee Stitcher, or tonight more aptly named Tea Stitcher. I thought I was over all the sinus stuff, and then today on the drive to work, it just kind of picked up again. Although it could possibly be allergies. I'm not totally willing to discount that. So, yeah. How is everybody? Alright, so, let's see, we've got minor bit of stash. I'll have more coming this week. So next week's video will be a little longer, in addition to being the start of the month, which means a whole bunch of stuff. I have some whip updates, have my usual Oz thing, and of course I've got my questions. So this one's since you just recently saw me, this one's probably going to be a little bit shorter of a video. It'll be my last video for January, though. So, without further ado, let's get started. Hopefully I won't have to split this one in two. Also, I apologize to those who tried to watch part 2 right after it uploaded. Apparently, with Capture, if you upload, or if you try and upload while, like, 2 together, the second one doesn't come out quite right. Because I re-uploaded it and had no problem, so... Alright. So... The first question, which I won't go into detail, I posted a much longer comment, so if you want to go back, it's on part 2 of last week, I believe. New Creature asked, how did I figure out how long Dorothy was gone with the wizard? And I actually sat down and went back over the actual timeline. It's actually really closer to 3 or 4 months. It mostly figures... Baum gives very specific... He never says, oh, Dorothy's gone this long, but he does say, well, it took a day to do this, or 3 days later. He gives time frames. So, cobbling that together... So, that's where it comes from. The big thing is, how long she's in the Castle of the Wicked Witch. That's the big unknown. It actually takes... It's interesting because the geography of Oz shifts a little bit. That's its own whole thing. So if you want to read it, it's there. But basically, that's where I figured it out. Beverly Evanger asked, how did FlossTube come about? I believe, now I could be completely wrong, but I believe it started kind of with Megan Maymay. She just started doing it, and then other people sort of joined in. I don't think there was like a specific, oh, this is the start. I think it was just she was doing kind of a vlog about cross-stitching, and it caught on. I believe that's how it started. Pam Ford, yeah, I tend to avoid coffee late at night. In fact, actually, now that I'm away from Starbucks, I drink like 1 cup a day, and sometimes I don't even drink a cup. On weekends, especially. Court R5877 asked if I'd seen the Oz Santa. I have. It's in my stash. Let's see. Jody Shell. And yes, Jody, you did kind of post it a whole bunch of times, so that's okay, because it made me feel special. It was like, oh, I've got a lot of notifications. Jody asked, was currently my favorite whip? I guess ongoing whip? I'm really, really digging Magical Creatures. I really like Clouds Factory. I'm sorry I didn't give him a chance sooner. What is a design that you haven't started yet but is really calling to you? Oh god, I've got several. Longfellow's Round Tower. The Harry Potter from Clouds Factory. The Scooby-Doo. Several of the Clouds Factory ones are calling out to me, but I've got to focus on a couple other things, and so I'm going to save those for May. Yeah, that's, I guess, what's really calling out to me are some of the Clouds Factories. Sorry, I'm a little spacey, I'm on medicine. The Clouds Factories and Longfellow's Round Tower. How did your love for Wizard of Oz start? I was about 4, and Mom got tired of renting The Little Mermaid at the local grocery store, so she picked this movie up and said, "Oh, you're gonna absolutely you'll love this. It's a great movie." And I sat there completely bored during the Kansas scenes, and all of a sudden that tornado hit, and oh my god, that was kind of the end of that. Um, so I don't really totally remember a lot of life without the Wizard of Oz. I do remember seeing it the first time, and that there was a point in my life when it didn't exist, but it was then. That was how I discovered it. Um, Also, to everyone who said that you've never read the Wizard of Oz books, that's okay. I recommend them, but that's okay. Um, um, a couple of people asked about Brooke. She's had a few family things going on. She is still out there. She will deliver, don't worry. She's just had an inordinate amount of stuff going on that has precluded other things, much to her disappointment. So she has not disappeared. So those of you who have ordered, it will be coming, don't worry. And trust me, she's worth the wait. Green Tigress Crafts asked, when do you receive your Stitchy Box? Generally, it's the last week or so of the month. A lot of it depends on how quick the suppliers get to Liz. But generally, you get it in the last week of the month. Sometimes it does take a little bit longer. But generally, it's a supplier issue, not something she's doing. So, Veronica Shannon asked what I do for work. I'm in banking. And we'll leave it at that because I'm a transponster, like Chandler Bing. Transponster. And that looks like that was really all of the questions. If anyone has more questions, throw them at me. I like answering questions. I may also not be doing any more flossing tonight because I think there may be some dust that's stirring up the allergies. I think this is all allergy. I kind of need to blow my nose, but I'm going to see if I can make it without. Alright. So, haul-wise, all I got in was my fabric of the month from Leslie from Under the Sea Fabrics. It's Misty Morning, and it's discontinued. Mine, she dyed lighter for me because I don't do well with dark fabrics, and instead of being gray, it's a gorgeous gray-purple mauve color, and not mauve because it's not red, but it's a gray-purple, and it's stunning. Like, I want to just do this with it. It's just so beautiful. I want to absorb its prettiness. So I got that in place of what she did do this month. Because it was going to be a dark fabric. So, here we go. It's gorgeous. I have no clue what I'm going to do on it, but it's gorgeous, and I love it. Alright, whip-wise, we've got... We've got 2 whips that I worked on. One was the one I spent most of the week on. I didn't get to stitch as much this week as I would have liked. So it was just one of those weeks. Monday I got to stitch. Tuesday I got to stitch a little. Wednesday I only got to stitch a little. Thursday I was gone at a play, so I got no stitching done. Friday I only got a little, and then Saturday and Sunday I got a lot of time. And I did some floss organization. So the minor work on one was Oz, and I just worked a little bit on the grass. So we're getting a little closer to a page finish. So there it is. I filled in everything here, and I started up here. So it's kind of going a little bit slow. This may end up, after I get my backstitch, all of the backstitching done in Scream House, then what I may do each month after I finish Scream House is I may take this to work, because a half hour here, a half hour there, it adds up. So I worked on that. And then the biggie was Postcards from the Edge, or from the World. Postcards from the Edge. Yes, that's an appropriate cross-stitch subject matter. So I finished the first block. And there it is. It's Venice. I used a mixture of the called for threads and the non-called for threads. A lot of the times I just substituted what I already had in my stash. White, I used 3865. The frame is at Gloriana Jersey Shore. The browns I changed a little. The blue is actually blue topaz instead of aqua because I don't have aqua, but I had blue topaz and it was sort of close. And I really like actually how it turned out. So there you have it. I have Venice. Oh, I changed obviously and I used 2 Victoria motto threads. I made the stamp look like the flag. I did purposely leave the gaps here. I've got an idea, but I want to see how the rest of it sort of looks a little bit first before I commit to it. But based on the way things are looking, it's probably just going to be white. So, and then my needle minder for this, I realized I haven't shown that, is Grover, your friendly blue monster from Sesame Street. And I picked Grover because of Super Grover and because of the Sesame Street characters, Grover seems the most likely to be traveling. And I didn't have any other travel-themed needle minders. So, there we go. Yeah, big old bag. The note cards actually need to come out. But I'll deal with that later. Okay. So, this week I'm going to work on Blue Jeans and Daisies because I've missed it. And because I'm really trying to get this finished this year. So, here's where I'm starting. I'm going to go down and I'm going to work on that bottom section and see how far I get this week. I need to find my notes on what stitches I did, because now it's been long enough, I don't remember what I did. And if not, fortunately my book has pictures, so hopefully I can figure it out from there. So that is this week's plan, and then I got my colors figured out for the Mayor of Munchkinland and for the next part of Magical Creatures. Knowing me, it is entirely possible that I will forgo Blue Jeans and Daisies and go straight to Magical Creatures, but we're going to aim for Blue Jeans and Daisies. Alright. So, I guess that leaves... So those will start on the 1st. After I finish Magical Creatures is when I'll start on Postcards. Magical Creatures isn't as big this time. I know I've got Home of a Needleworker starting up in February with the 4 Stitchers of the Whipocalypse. We're starting that February 15th, and actually starting it together. But I'm going to try not to start anything else. That way I can actually focus on some of my current whips. Mania, I'm beginning my finalizing. It will probably be a mixture of whips and new starts. It won't be all starts, though. Next month's Oz theme, because it's February, is going to be the Tin Man. So, that will be coming. And then the last part, obviously, is the last of the new Oz. And this is a line that Hallmark puts out called Itty Bitties. And here's Dorothy and Scarecrow. They're absolutely adorable, is what they are. And I have a ton more. I didn't need them, but I have them. Our wonderful Tin Man with his little heart. And the lion with his courage. The Scarecrow does not hold his diploma, which is a little sad for Scarecrow. They were the core ones. They're always available, although I think Hallmark's getting ready to discontinue some of the older ones. And that was in their initial. Then the next year they did limited editions of the 2 witches. So we've got the Wicked Witch and Glinda. They're very cute. And then last year's limited editions were a flying monkey named Nico and Toto. So I think the current plan, I think I've heard, is they're doing a Winky Guard, maybe? I know there's also some other stuff that Hallmark's got planned with the Oz itty bitty line. So there you go. I hope everyone has a great week, and I will see you all soon.